Hi guys, I wanted to give you some instructions. This is Mrs. Culp here, and this is a little more in detail assignment, and it has to do with the summer budget worksheet or budgeting simulation that we would normally do in class. And so I just thought it might be better if you had a video of me walking you through it. So it may or may not help. If you want to plug it in the back and try to work on it as I go through each line, then feel free to do that. If you can do it on your own, then that's great. You do that as well. Okay, so to get started, you're already in this obviously because you clicked on me and you hear me talking. So what you will do is click on the summer budgeting simulation, the Google Slides, and it's going to look like this and say welcome to the real world. If you could open the worksheet at the same time right here, it would be great if you could work on them at the same time. But if you can't, then you can just get a piece of paper, write down the numbers, and then you can plug them in later. This is what the worksheet will look like. And it will have where you basically just plug the information in. What we would normally do in the classroom is we would go through the PowerPoint together, and students would have this worksheet with them and they would write in it. And then when they were finished writing it down and we finished the PowerPoint, they would go back in and type the numbers in and turn it in. So since we're not doing that, you can do it whatever way works best for you, just so long as this spreadsheet gets filled out. And you may be able to go through here and make those choices and then remember the numbers through here because a lot of the formulas are still here. Okay, so first slide. You decide yourself. Are you single or are you married? That's completely up to you. If you decide that you're married, you will have to pick a career and income and fill out some information, and your lifestyle will obviously be a little more expensive. But again, that's your choice. When we're at school, and the kids don't get a choice, they just draw out of a bag and it says whether you're married or whether you're single. So all of these choices are given to them. They don't really get to choose them like you are. Okay, once you decide that, you're going to go to this website called salary.com. If you just click on that link, you can open it up and you will decide, pick a career of your choice. And then you will have to do a little research and find out if it requires any years of school and what the salary, the annual salary is. So since we have to pay taxes, you're going to go here on your spreadsheet, or like I said, write it down for now and then go back in and fill it in later. But you need to know the career name. You need to know how much you make per year. And then you need to know how many years that it takes for you to get to that career. And that will come into play in a couple of slides, so you need to make sure you write that down. Once you get your yearly annual income, you're going to multiply it by 0.8 and then divide that by 12. There's other ways you can do it. This is just their figure. Basically, you're taking 20% out of it, and then you're figuring up your monthly income. You're going to put that there. If you're single, you'll bring that down to this one. So say your monthly income was $2,500 and you were single, so that would pop in there for you. Okay? So again, if you have a spouse, you have to go in and select their career, their income, and their school. So it takes a little bit extra. But, you know, if you've got time and you want to do that and you want to see what that would be like, then please do that. Okay, next slide. The number of children you have will depend on your first initial of your last name. So for instance, my last name is Culp, begins with a C, so I fall in this category right here. So I would have 0 children. We know that's not true, but anyway. So I would account for there is a line for fixed expenses, and that's in variable expenses. And you would multiply that by 100. So I would have a 0 here because I don't have any children. If you had, in this game anyway, if your name was Williams, then you would fall under the 3 children. So you would put 300 here. If your name was Johnson, then you would put 100 because you fall under the one child category. Okay, so hopefully you get that. And again, this is a variable expense because children's costs, I'm assuming they are thinking that they change every month, and they do, because a baby is not going to cost the same as a teenager. Fixed expenses are things that are your, hopefully your savings, your education if you have a student loan payment, your home mortgage payment, your health insurance, your car payment, car insurance, things that generally are the same every month. Variable expenses are things like your water and electricity that change every month. Okay, savings and investing. So again, a fixed expense, we want to think of savings as a fixed expense because you should always pay yourself first. No matter if it's 10% or 2%, you should allot a certain amount that goes back for yourself in savings. What we'll do in this exercise is if we have money left over, then we will put that back and add that into savings as well. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're taking monthly income times 10% and putting that in savings. So that would be $250 because my monthly income is $2,500 and I'm putting $250 there. Okay. So whatever your monthly income is, multiply it by 0.10, take 10% of it and put it there. Fixed expenses on the next slide. Education. Many people have to pay student loans for several years after they've graduated college. So remember when I said you need to see what your career is and what the income is and how many years of school it takes. That's where we're plugging that in now. So the education student loan is how many years of school you had. If you decided to have a spouse, how many years of school they have to have for that career, times or multiply that by $25. So let's say I had to have 4, then I would multiply that by, and I would get 100. And if your career, the particular thing that you're looking at, does not require college, then you're okay. Just put a 0. Next slide is utilities. Utilities, again, like I said, are considered variable expenses. So it's giving us a formula here. Water is $10 per household member. So if you look on line 19, you have number of household members, multiply that by $10. So if I'm single, I just put in $10 there. If I'm married, I put in 20. If I'm married and have one child, I would put in 30. 2 children, 40. So just take how many people you have total in your house and multiply that by 40 on this game, not in reality. Okay, electricity is $25 per household member. So however many people you multiply by the $10, do that to $25. We're going to skip natural gas and propane. So again, it's just me, so I'd put $25 there. All right, moving on. Groceries and food are also a variable expense. Food costs are going to be $100 per household member per month. So again, however many people I multiplied by the $10 and the $25, I'm going to do that on the groceries. So I had completely lost groceries. Groceries is right up here above utilities. Household members times 100, and it was just me, so there's 100. Okay, I want you to ignore this part, but I don't want to delete it. It is just for if you had a low income. What we do in class is we look and see if someone has a low income in their monthly or their annual. We look and see if they would qualify for aid, which would be in the way of food stamps. And then they would plug in a 0 there. So it just shows the difference of the income and budgeting. Okay, so then we go to the next